How's it going, YouTube? Navy Sooner here. Today, we're talking why perfection isn't perfection anymore and closer to obsolescence. I have recently been able to get my hands onto a Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS. I wanted to try the MOS out because I wanted to get back into the red dot game. I have a review on a Glock 17 Gen 3, and I also have a review on the slide that I put on that. I have since sold it. I just didn't want it anymore. I didn't feel like Glock was for me. And I just decided that I would try out the 17 MOS in Gen 5 because it's more ambidextrous for me. Well, shooting this perfection solidified the reasoning behind me going to CZP-10F. Little about the Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS before we go on. Just like the Gen 4 Glock 17 MOS, it's basically the same thing. And if it wasn't a red dot sight version, it'd be the same thing basically as a Gen 3 Glock 17. The Gen 5 lost its finger grooves, which people were complaining about them having them there, and reverted back to the Gen 2, which did not have finger grooves here. Gen 5 Glocks all have an ambidextrous slide release here, and if you want to be a crybaby and talk bad about me calling this a slide release rather than a slide stop, I don't give a shit. It can be both. It's both. Who cares? Obviously, it being an MOS, it has a red dot mounting system to it. It comes with different plates based on the different platforms that you could have for red dots. There are other companies that sell these that can make them better, or for other red dots that don't have a footprint of what Glock has put in with their MOSs. The mag release comes on this side, but you can switch it to this side. Me being lefty, I switched it. Yes, there are rounds in there, but there's not any here. I'm just showing you the magazine. Gen 5s supposedly have better triggers. We'll talk about that later, but they supposedly have better triggers. As well, Gen 5s have a marksman barrel. Before we go on with the video, it's time for me to let you know about my Patreon and my Subscribe Star. There is no content over there. It's just a way for you to be able to donate to me if you'd like to see my channel continue running. If you'd still like to donate to me, but you do not want to have to worry about a subscriber style service, then I have a PayPal account. You can use navysoonerchannel@gmail.com on PayPal's website or their app, and you can send directly to me. It'd be greatly appreciated if you donated to keep this channel running. If you do like my content, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video towards the end of it, hit the like button. Also, go check out Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. They finally have a website. I'll be rolling up a link on the screen here, as well as I will be putting the link to the website for Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness down below next to their Instagram. This is what their shirts look like. I got a new hat from him. He's got new t-shirts that look pretty fucking badass. So go check out Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness' website now. Let's get back to the video. Now for all you Glock fanboys, you can go ahead and turn the video off now because I'm going to start talking about why perfection is obsolescence, really, when it comes to Glock. I'm not talking about reliability when it comes to the Glock, because they are reliable guns. But so are most striker-fired handguns these days. I'm going to be directly comparing this Glock to this CZP-10F. Yes, I know it's not red dot ready, but not a big deal. Because without the red dot, you can still compare these two. Since this is a Gen 5 Glock, we have 5 reasons why Glocks suck. Reason number 1, the triggers. Glock stock triggers suck. Glock triggers are heavy for most modern day striker fired pistols now. This one I have tested, and it is at 6 pounds. And that is a measured 6 pounds, not a guessing 6 pounds. Now, don't get me wrong, the break is crisp, but it is pretty heavy. To get a decent trigger for a Glock, you need to either polish it, break it in, or buy a new trigger. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some people that do polishing or trigger jobs or know how to change out triggers, know what they're doing. Like, I would have no problem being able to do that on this gun. But there are people out there that can screw these up more than a girl with daddy issues. Reason number 2, the grip. Now, while I will say Glock has made a better attempt with their grips, with getting rid of the finger grooves, I also don't really have any issues with the finger grooves because my fingers fit right. Even upgrading without the finger grooves, you feel like you're holding a brick in your hand. And it's not just a complaint by me who has small cock strokers. It is also a complaint by people that have bigger hands. The way Glock could alleviate this issue is real easy. But the issue with that is Glock is like 9, perfection. All Glock has to do is release a series that takes metal magazines. Now, they can still keep selling their guns that take their plastic magazines, but by using metal magazines, they can fix the grip. They can make a smaller grip by using metal magazines. My CZ uses metal magazines and the grip is much better. I can get my small cockstrokers on here just fine. People that want to complain about grips being smaller, well, Glock fixed that issue by making even bigger grip additions to their already big grips. This is a CZ P10F mag. This is a Glock 17 mag. We will do a little testing here. Test here, front to back. We are at 33.26 millimeters. You can here, I mean, at 33.26 millimeters, it fits just fine. So therefore, front to back, we are sitting at 32.66 millimeters. As well, side to side on the CZ, we are sitting at 22.45. I'm pressing on it, so I mean 22.67. All right, there we are sitting at 22.89. While only 0.2 millimeters doesn't seem like that much to you, and what the other measurement doesn't seem that much to you, when it comes to the circumference all the way around a magazine, yes, I know it's not a true circle, but you could still talk about circumference, it creates a smaller grip. All Glock has to do is make metal mags. They can keep the insides of their mags the same size, hold 9 millimeters, and hold 17 rounds. They just have to use metal mags, and there's less metal mags. You need less material than these plastic mags, making them smaller. That helps make the grip smaller. Even more proof that metal magazines work are shield mags for the Glock 43X and the 48. They have smaller inside dimensions, being able to make kind of a double stack magazine out of a metal magazine, and making a Glock 48 or 43X a 15 round gun. While I'm not talking about the exterior dimensions, the interior dimensions were made smaller. You can take a Glock magazine, make the exterior dimensions smaller, and boom, you're good. Reason number 3, ergonomics. I say ergonomics next because we just talked about the pistol grip. Well, the pistol grip goes into ergonomics as well. One of those being is the angle at which the grip comes from the firearm. By having the angle more of a swept back angle than a closer to 90-degree angle, when pushing out to fire, you have to pull down on the front of the gun to be able to get a good sight picture. It is not a very good pointing gun. You have to train through that. And yes, you can train through that, but you don't have to train through that with this. This is a much better pointing gun. You can find your targets much better, much easier, without having to train the low forward cant into your press out when you are trying to find your sights. Another thing about ergonomics and physics, while this does have a low bore axis, it's lower than a Sig Sauer. It's still not lower than, say, my P10F. There are many reasons for that. You can't get up as high into the back of the gun as the P10F, and your undercut on your trigger guard isn't as high as well. The way to alleviate that is you take a Dremel to under here. Now, just like that girl that has daddy issues, you can screw this up just as much as her. As well, with the undercut for the trigger guards on a Glock, you get this thing called Glock knuckle. Glock knuckle is you get meat taken off or create calluses on your middle finger, and it's just a pain in the ass and kind of annoying. It can hurt if you really think about it. Luckily my Glock knuckle went away, and it's not there anymore because I don't shoot Glocks quite as much. Reason number 4, the iron sights. The iron sights on a Glock, you can't really see the front here without me doing that, but you got a front dot and then you have a square U-notch here. While those aren't the worst sights in the world, I prefer 3-dot or a single dot with a blacked out rear. Training into this, you can train into it, but it's still not the best sight picture when it comes to iron sights. Most people that buy Glocks just buy Glocks and don't do anything, but people that know anything about guns will buy Glocks and change out the sights. There are multiple reasons why they do that, and one of them being like the 3-dot sight, I like a 3-dot sighting system. Another one is these are plastic. They come plastic. I prefer a metal sight on my guns. They are more durable and you can do much more with a metal sight and you don't have to worry about as much. I have ordered metal iron sights for this, but they are going to be suppressor height because I have a red dot on here to be able to co-witness. That's another thing with the MOS's. The MOS is to put a red dot on there. At least put some suppressor height sights in the box. It doesn't really cost that much, especially if you're going to use cheap plastic. As well, I like night sights. Now, if you are using a flashlight, you don't really need to worry about night sights. But my CZ P10F comes with night sights. A lot of other guns come with night sights. It's just nice to have them, and it doesn't really cost that much. Glock just doesn't want to get off their perfection pedestal. Reason number 5 is Glock. Just Glock itself, the company. The Glock doesn't listen to their customers. Yeah, they have done a couple of things where they've listened to their customers by removing the finger grooves, but they really do not listen to the customers. Like, there's a lot of customers that would like a Glock 17 slide on a Glock 19 frame. What do they come out with? A Glock 45, which is a Glock 19X, which is a 19 slide on a 17 frame. While that's good for a duty-sized pistol, it's not good for concealment because the Glock 17 frame is bigger. Anyways, not about this gun. That's just an issue with Glock itself. They don't want to listen to their customers. You should fix your ergonomics in your gun. 9! You should make metal mags to be able to make your grip smaller. 9! You should put better sights on your guns. 9! Well, okay, but we're going to make a much more expensive version with better sights. And they're going to be harder to find. 9! They don't want to listen to their customers because they don't have to, because they know Glock fanboys, even when the Gen 6 comes out and they've put the finger grooves back on, the fanboys are still going to be like, it's perfection, and then pull this slide off and shove it up their butt to milk their prostate. Glock fanboys will be like, oh, it's a Gen 8, it's perfection because they changed what the serrations are on the slide release. It's just serrations. It's not any different from Gens 2 through 16. Perfection, I said! Not to mention, Glock's marketing is shit. They made the Glock 44, which is a 22 long rifle version of the Glock, out to be like the next big thing in firearm development. It only had 10 rounds and it hardly fucking worked. The Taurus TX22 is a better gun. Sorry. Yes, you have what amounts to a Glock 19 shooting 22 long rifle, but if it doesn't work and you have to reload every 5 seconds, what's the fucking point? Then, when they realize it's shit, they go and pay off TFBDV to get on YouTube and tell you that the Glock 44 is the next coming of Jesus Christ. Don't get me wrong, Glocks are good guns. And they're reliable besides a Glock 44. I just think there's better options out there. Now, the Glock fanboy that likes to walk around with his butt crack holster and shoving this down there and letting it tickle the ribs on his butthole with a little plastic sight, I get it. You like it. But there are better guns out there for different people. Like me, I prefer the CZP-10F. Now, yes, I do carry a Glock 48 as my EDC/concealed carry firearm. But the grip is skinnier and they have the shield mags. If it wasn't for those redeeming qualities, I would probably be carrying a 365 XL. Even though when you pull the trigger on those, it feels like you're shooting the worst load of your life. The problem with Glock perfection is to be able to get the perfection, you have to modify it out of the box and train more with it than you would another gun. Glocks may have been perfection at one point, but they aren't anymore. Innovation has made better guns than even the Glock Gen 5. Now, if you have a different opinion than me, that's your opinion. I am allowed to have my own opinion. It's not my fault that you like to use a picture of Gaston Glock in a Speedo to masturbate with. Anyways, Navy Sooner out. This is a CZ mag. Is it? No, that's a shield mag.